Ho, 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 ho. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Thursday afternoon, and we're all together. If you are here on subscribestar.com or the preparedmind.club, either of those is a premium member, you're here with me live, and I want your opinions today. I want to start out with a great question. It's not my question, but it's a topic that you and I have talked about over the years, having to do with scorched earth. So the question is asked not by me, not by you, but by a mainstream syndicated columnist, a guy named Wayne Root. He asked this, and I want your opinions if you don't mind sharing with me and, well, the rest of the world. He says, would Democrats and deep state rather destroy America, burn it all to the ground, see millions of Americans die in nuclear war, than allow Trump to make America great again? I think it's a fair question, considering what we have going on right now. Literally, how fucking crazy are the Democrats? One congressman, or maybe he was a senator, an idiot Democrat, wrote a letter to Joe Biden on his congressional letterhead. And he asked, we need to do something about Trump. One man shouldn't have the power to launch nuclear weapons. We need to pass legislation and have you sign it to protect the office of the president from people who are deranged or dangerous or some such word along those lines. And I thought, you're saying that about the deranged, mentally dilapidated, doddering, dementia-addled, that's a lot of D's, idiot Biden himself. He's asking that of Biden, who is all of those things. He's asking that of Biden, a puppet who gave long-range military missiles to Ukraine, and then gave them the authorization to fire them into Russia, the other nuclear weapons superpower on the planet. I really think that, they would love to destroy this world if they can't maintain control of it. Truly, folks, the Democrats, the deep state, they're scared to death right now. To death. They're scared to death of Trump, of Trump's picks. They're scared to death of you and me, and they would rather nuke everyone, thinking they're doing remember, they want to reduce population, they want to mutilate children, they want to stop cows, they want to stop food, they want to stop everything. Everything is, dangerous to them. Everything is horrifying to them. They think that we should reduce the population by 90%. And so they might as well just kill themselves. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. What do you think? Are these people willing to literally go scorched earth? Joe Biden is literally considering giving Ukraine nuclear weapons. How is that going to help anything? As it is, they fired more long-range missiles into Russia during Russia's yesterday. They're on the other side of the planet from us here. literally on the other side of the planet. And Russia has essentially said, prepare for retaliation, right? They know they only have to make it another 40 days and Trump is in. Another 40 days and we should be able to take care of this like real grown-ups. But Putin is also pissed off. And I think we talked about it. We called it. If they're going to give Russia's money that was stolen by the U.S. government to Ukraine, they're going to want it back. They're going to want reparations. They're going to want control. They're going to want further additional concessions. Russia's not, they're not a coward on this. They're not cowardly. There's all of these claims that Russia's going to fold, that they're going to break their economy, that they can't keep up, that their military is awful. Well, it's incredible, folks. Russia, as a nation, has an incredible amount of natural reserves in metals, oil, energy. I don't think they have any problem living without the rest of the world. I mean, Russia is pronouncing itself Christian and a number of other things that is completely the opposite of what the World Economic Forum and the woke, diversity, equity, inclusion, the money powers in the West that want to destroy us. Our own leaders want to destroy us. Look what Trudeau is doing to Canada. Look what Biden's doing to our country in America. Look what the European Union is doing to Europeans. But they know Trump is coming. They know the illegals are going to be done. They know it. The FBI, the leader resigns. Good. Good, folks. We are in the battle for our very lives. In the battle for our very lives. The celebration of death and destruction by the willingness to kill all of us if need be. We've got some trouble. We have an awful lot of trouble. It has hit the fan. And even though Trump won, and thank God he did, because if he hadn't won, we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. We'd be having a completely different conversation now. So what do you think? Do you think Democrats, the deep state, the bankers, do you think they would rather destroy America, burn it to the ground, crash the economy, crash the market, crash all of us, maybe even die in a nuclear war, than to let us be free? Interesting stuff, folks. Interesting indeed. I mean, the censorship regime, the anti-free regime, the you don't have rights regime, right? There's this thing called the Global Engagement Center. I guess this was the censorship machine that was set up. It's going to terminate. There's a lot of things in government that need to terminate, folks. How about the Patriot Act, which is not very patriotic at all? How about the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, which doesn't defend or authorize anything good? It just watches us and spies us. What about all of these special rules set up to allow the government to spy on us, confiscate our wealth, throw us in jail, deny us our rights? I think all of these institutions of federal government and even state government need to go bye-bye. The Constitution, this is incredible. This is the rule book for the government at the federal level. Pretty thin, right? That's their rule book. You know how many rule books they have for us? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pages that they think they get to create for us, when that little teeny constitution there created the government. Funny how that works, huh? They have nothing, folks, nothing but disdain for us. They want to try and control us, so they make mountains of paper. This is all it was supposed to take to control government. That's it. That little teeny book. Well, it worked until the government decided it's not going to be held accountable. Well, surprise, surprise, it looks like there's going to be some accountability being demanded. whether it's Alejandro Mayorkas or the jackass in charge of the Postal Service, whether it's Christopher Wray of the FBI or whatever stinking, slimy piece of shit is in charge at the CIA. We've got nothing but trouble. The IRS, the ATF, the DHS, the DEA, the IRS. Did I say that twice? Maybe they need to be looked at twice. Hire 87,000 more agents. And we were told they're supposed to go after billionaires. No, they're going to go after you, folks. And the government, they want to pretend like they're here for us. Oh, sure. They want to pretend, right? Remember the last time somebody was going to kill Trump that made public news anyways? That's right. He was fired at by a Secret Service agent at point blank range, I believe 5 feet away, shot at him 6 times and missed 6 times. Now, was the agent incompetent, or was he giving the assassin a chance to escape? 6 times. Point blank, meaning you can't get any closer. I mean, what was this, an episode of Pulp Fiction? The bullets just went right through him. It was just a miracle. That's what we're dealing with, folks. These are the types of things we're dealing with. The Secret Service? Oh, yeah. Yeah, a Doritos lady almost got Trump shot through the fucking head, the cranium. Luckily, he only got shot through the ear. Oh, the roof was too steep. And I'm still not satisfied with the sniper activity there. Still not satisfied with that at all. The amount of time it took to bring this guy down. And then the lies we've been told, and we don't know jack shit about them. Oh, the incompetence in the Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA. I mean, the CIA, it's like their job is to overthrow foreign governments and install America-friendly government. Really? Are you prepared to see what they're willing to do next? Now, I have to be careful with this particular topic. Pfizer. You guys know about Pfizer. They make the Jim Jones juice. Well, they're now being accused of hiding deaths in their Jim Jones juice trials. Yeah, I guess they did real human trials. They didn't work out that good. Now, in the 1970s, swine flu got out there, and I believe 3 people passed away from the swine flu juice. And they stopped right there and said, oh, people are dying. We can't have that. Well, get this. During the Jim Jones juice trials for cerveza bug, under just Pfizer, it's not counting Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, or AstraZeneca, right? No. 8 people died during testing. And Pfizer gave it a green light. Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah. They lied to the FDA. The FDA lied to us. And heart attacks galore. Heart attacks galore. Deaths galore. And they're like, yeah, we're ready now. We got a product that's going to do exactly what Bill Gates wants. People have lost faith in the government. They've lost faith in, well, people who are supposed to be helping us. The media, lawyers, judges, corporations, they're all supposed to, we thought, be there to help us. You know, they're American. Not so much, folks. People are abandoning the idea that government is our good buddy. The media is our good buddy. That corporations, doctors, pharmaceuticals, right? They're here to help us. No, in fact, MSNBC, folks, I don't know. They're getting close to hitting rock bottom. They've now got on MSNBC 3 different shows that are they're getting like all time. Remember how everyone says all time highs? Well, they've got all time lows in the same week. That the media networks are losing to the Hallmark Channel, the Cartoon Network, and other subpar tiny channel. No one wants to hear from them. Joy Reid on MSNBC, complete moron. Van Jones, who's actually a very intelligent communist, has come out and said, yeah, we're losing it, right? The Republicans figured it out. We're losing it. It's some wild business out there, folks. Wild business. And I hope you are ready for more. Now, the deep state. Once again, the question I had for you is, are they willing to burn down the country, burn down the economy, burn down the monetary, burn everything down, go to war, nuclear war? Well, I think that they're willing to do that to protect themselves. The ex-FBI, that's right, he's now ex-FBI loser, Christopher Wray, director of the FBI, lying attorney, by the way. Apparently, he has an alleged plot. Yeah, he wants to procedurally handcuff President Trump and Kash Patel before, right? Christopher Wray wants to do that before he leaves the FBI, right? Basically, the plan that's kind of being discussed is that Christopher Wray is going to bury his moles inside the FBI, deep inside, all throughout the department, so that if the top floor guys get fired, well, these moles will still be in there. They'll make it hard for Kash Patel to get seated as director, hard for him to organize, hard for him to gauge what's going on. They want to be able to leak information, so he wants moles everywhere in the FBI. He wants to be able to backstab Kash Patel, backstab Trump, interfere for the deep state. Now, the fact that this plot has made it out into the public and it's being discussed and it's being considered, it proves that Christopher Wray and the Biden administration are willing to obstruct not just Trump, but obstruct our government, obstruct justice. If he is even considered being a part of this, they need to arrest him. They need to, if they investigate and find out he has anything to do with this, they need to immediately arrest him for obstructing justice on a federal level. He needs to go to prison. He needs to be charged with obstructing justice and possibly treason. Throw the fucking book hard. Throw it hard at anybody in the government looking to interfere with, slow down, obstruct, get in the way, leak information, right? The only way to break the deep state, there's one way, and that's to go after them head first and just tackle them and take them out. That's it. The threats don't work. Using a subpoena to make them testify, who cares? They need to be arrested and thrown in jail for as long as possible. They do. They really need to. Now, someone came up with this today. They figured out, why does Trump play the YMCA song everywhere? Well, it's because there's a YMCA at Gitmo. That's right, Guantanamo Bay, down in Cuba, run by the Marines. There's a prison system there, right, for terrorists. Right? They're going to have fun at the YMCA. Is that really the joke, or is it just an interesting coincidence? Right? Because they're going to go to the YMCA. I sure hope so. Folks, this deep state thing is real. If anyone has ever doubted that the deep state is real, I would like to remind them of this.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the president.
Not President Trump. That was Representative or Senator Steny Hoyer. Yeah, the deep state's real. When Congress, the deep state is real. They're a cadre of people who are interested in stabbing us in the back. Never mind that we voted overwhelmingly for Trump, despite the fact that the Democrats cheated everywhere they could. And there needs to be lots of arrests on that one, folks. Lots of arrests. Yes, there needs to be a shit pile of arrests over the election. There needs to be a shit pile of arrests over interference. CBS, 60 Minutes, CNN, MSNBC, people in media need to be arrested for threatening, committing federal crimes, threatening Trump, threatening the Congress, threatening everybody, lying, interfering with the election, obstructing justice, right? And if people like Assange can be arrested for getting their hands on secret information and letting it out, well, then so should the media. you don't get to have anonymous sources. You have to reveal your sources. Or we all get the same protections, right? Like Pete Hegseth, the nominee for the Department of Defense, right? He wants to clean that up so he can get the military back on track, get all the woke, all the DEI, all the critical race theory, get it the fuck out of the Pentagon and out of the military. Because, folks, shit has hit the fan, and it's not going to get better until this mess gets cleaned up. It's not a little bit. The Democrats won't get discouraged and just go, fine, whatever. I'll just go do something else for a living. No, they like the power. They want all of the power. They don't want to give up any of the power. It's not going to happen, folks. They're not going to give it up. West Point, they lied. Their public relations department. They had to correct a lie that they gave to the media, that the media ran with in order to smear Pete Hegseth. If they're willing to smear Trump, prosecute Trump, lie about Trump, try and get him thrown in jail. In fact, Joe Biden said he needs to be in jail. He needs to be in prison. He needs to be locked up, right? But then pencil neck Adam shit his pants Schiff, that little POS, that little felching monster, that disgusting freak who is now a senator, tried castigating Trump and us, saying it's not presidential to be threatening to put people in jail. What did Biden say? He literally said Trump needs to be put in jail. He needs to be stopped. Right? These people are liars, folks, from top to bottom. So yeah, there was a nasty coordinated smear attempt by the West Point Public Relations. It's a good thing that Hegseth, he kept his papers, his acceptance papers from West Point, proving he was accepted to West Point Military Academy. I guess he didn't go. And that's all right. I've met some West Point officers. They no different than anyone else, but West Point, kind of like Annapolis, West Point, yada, yada, yada. Like VMI, it's just, it's tradition and honor. But right now, tradition and honor, huh? Yeah, what does that do for us? Well, the deep state is everywhere. It's in the military. It's in Congress. It's in every single political institution. And they want more SHTF. Yes, they do. Do you think that's good for you? Or do you think a little differently? Now, before we get to the end of my 30 minutes, I want you to make sure you get your questions down to Mr. Uman there. I want to hear what you're thinking. I want to know what's on your mind, because we've got some serious business coming, folks. Serious business. Joe Biden issued the largest single day pardon. It's a pardon fest in American history. I mean, he just a couple of days ago pardoned his son Hunter, gave him a blanket pardon going back to 2014. What? Now, folks, he has crushed all old records, even the record held by his daddy, Obama. Over 1,000 people, folks, have, this is from the Gateway Pundit. Gateway Pundit, I want to read a quote. Over 1,000 people have unsurprisingly received a get-out-of-jail-free card thanks to Joe Biden just a month before he leaves office. The Associated Press reported on Thursday that Biden has decided to commute the sentences, that is to say, pardon them, commute the sentences of about 1,500 convicts who were released from prison during the COVID-19 pandemic and placed on home confinement. In addition, Biden also announced he was pardoning 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes. Nonviolent crimes. This is what Biden said. Quote, "That is why today I'm pardoning 39 people who have shown successful rehabilitation and have shown commitment to making their communities safer and stronger." And he also said this, "I'm also commuting the sentences of nearly 1,500 people who are serving long-term prison sentences." I guess Biden likes giving second chances to violent, horrifying criminals. But no pardoning Trump or any Republicans or January 6ers or any patriots. Folks, one of the people he pardoned was a Chinese national with relations to the Chinese Communist Party and spies. He had, I think, 40 or 60,000 pedophilia files in his computer. And Biden let him go. Biden let him out. How does that make a lick of sense? It doesn't, does it? I watched and listened to Mayorkas, Alejandro Mayorkas, the head of the Department of Homeland Security. And that piece of shit, folks, was grilled, I believe, by Senator Hawley about his lying. He lied to a congressperson, he lied to a senator, and then he was lying to another senator. And he grilled him. He grilled him upside one and down the other. And Mayorkas lied, and then he lied some more. He did know, he didn't know, then he forgot. And nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. They just get away with it, and then they'll get away with some more. That's why we're all sitting back. We're all watching the clock. I got a clock up there. Watching the clock. Because on January 20th and then the 21st, we're going to be looking around, watching the news. We're going to be listening to see what the hell happens. Are they actually going to do something? Or these left-wing lunatics going to throw sticks in the spokes and fuck everything up and nothing is done about it? You obstruct, you get arrested. You lie, you get arrested. You hide information, you get arrested. You leak information, you get arrested. If you were involved in election fraud, you get arrested. All of the funding that went into the Democrats, this Blue Sky or whatever the hell it was, where Democrats could donate money, and it was a giant sham. It was a money laundering campaign sham. They should all be arrested, every last one of them. I mean, the teachers out there, they need to be arrested, but instead they sue everyone else. Here's an example of Utes, the two Utes in schools, right? In Beverly Hills, two teachers are trying to sue the high school for racism because students wore Trump hats and they celebrated Trump winning the election. So two teachers are now suing for racism. Oh yeah, the teachers were black. That's so I guess white kids happy about Trump winning is racism. The teachers were recorded threatening to, quote, come for the pro-Trump students' families. See, they're still living in this bizarro world where they think they can get away with anything at all. All you have to do is complain, scream racism, play the race card, play the gay card, play the whatever card, and they're going to get away. That's what's going to continue unless right off the bat, right out the gate, we get things fixed. And when I say fixed, I mean fixed. The best way to convince people to not break the law is to show them what happens when someone breaks the law. Threats don't do it. There needs to be a ton of arrests. And Trump needs to pardon all the January 6th protesters day one. He needs to use his bully pulpit, and trust me, he will. And America loves the guy. He was on Wall Street today. He rang the opening bell with Melania, and then he went down on the trading floor, and not that they really do a whole lot of hand trading anymore. It's all computers, but still went down there, and the trading floor started chanting USA, USA, right? America wants to be like us, like you and me. They think we're a little bit wacky being preppers, but I don't trust them. They want to go scorched earth. I'm a prepper. Everyone around me is going to have a hell of a lot harder time than me, right? Because we have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and our plans. You should too, and I know that you do. So speaking of that, let's get to you guys. Let's see what you want to discuss. And we're back. And Mr. Uman has got a hold of everything. And he says, we've got some good questions out there. Lots to talk about. Lots happening. Okay, Uman, where do we want to kick this one off? Kabam. Mikey G says, sounds like the Democrat plan since 2020. Oh, Scorched. Yeah. It's amazing, Mikey. They're in office. They have all the power, all the control. They control the military. They have the media behind them. They have the stock market. They own the bankers, or the bankers own them. And what was their plan? Destroy America. Same with Canada. I mean, Canadians can't fucking stand. We look around and go, didn't we elect you guys in Congress to serve us? Instead, you just give our money away to other countries. You let illegals in our country and give our money away to them. We have a natural disaster. You ignore them, shit on them. In fact, steal their goods, steal their generators, their food, their supplies, and end up sending supplies over to other countries. Unbelievable. The demon rats. Democrats have been slowly destroying this country since the 1930s, when American socialism really reared its ugly head with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, president. And he came up with Social Security and started all of the socialized programs. That is to say, take your money, give it to others. They're still at it, but now they don't want to just take our money. They want to destroy us literally as a culture, our traditions, our laws, etc. There's going to be hell to pay. I would just rather have it be our version of the way things need to go down, not the Democrats' way, which is absolute destruction. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Mikey G. And name redacted says, abso-fucking-lutely, they, meaning the deep state, they are willing to destroy everything at any cost. Well, what is it they want to attain? What is it that they want? We just talked about how, well, they had all the power. They had the presidency, right? They had the Senate. They have the media. At times, the Democrats have had the Congress, House of Representatives as well. They have at least two of the Supreme Court justices that swing back and forth like a fucking bar room door, right? They just go all different ways. Chief Justice John Roberts was supposed to be a conservative. He votes like a fucking liberal, right? So they've had all the power. That's not enough. And I think that's our key. They're willing to destroy everything, even if they have the power, as they enrich themselves and tear down the country. But you know what? I'm starting to wonder if they don't realize that that's what they're doing. I think they might be so fucking stupid, so ignorant, so out of touch with reality. And what do you mean, John? What do you mean they're out of touch with reality? They just have a different political perspective. No, they're out of fucking touch with reality itself. I don't like to make blanket statements without evidence. So I will now provide you that evidence, courtesy of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's right, the horse-faced whore who can eat an apple through a picket fence and not get a single splinter in her lips. That bitch right there. You're shaking your head at me, oh man. I tell you, yeah. AOC, you know what she said? And she was talking about the Daniel Penny case. The fact that he was acquitted of all criminal charges. She said that the subway system in New York is now less safe because Daniel Penny has been exonerated, acquitted, pronounced not guilty. So how can a guy, a man, a Marine, a white American, with the assistance of Black Americans, in the witnessed presence of other minorities, women, wrestle down a violent, threatening asshole who has a criminal record long enough to stretch from here to Tularosa? How can Daniel Penny be the bad guy in this? Well, like I said, the reality has left the building with Democrats. They literally believe their own bullshit. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, what a fucking retard. Literally, folks, I think that she's retarded. Retarded. Meaning she has a very low IQ and doesn't have the ability to learn. So the conclusions she comes to are very poor. She is no stranger to lying when it's politically expedient, and then lying even when it's not politically expedient, and she gets caught, and she just lies some more. The world is safer because men, regardless of color, who are willing to take action as good Samaritans and protect their fellow man and woman, right? That makes the world a safer place. Well, here we are, folks. We are at that place. You know, shit is hit the fan when American patriots and concerned citizens are called a threat, and people who are unhinged, drug abusing criminals, when they're stopped, that's a bad thing. That's where we're at. I'm telling you, that's where we're at. All right, great topic, great question, always leading me to more stuff. Uman says, I think the radicals on both sides would be willing to burn it to the ground for their causes. I sure hope not, man. Uman says, I think they have a demented fantasy that they will somehow survive and then come out on top. Well, the hardcore, who are the hardcore right-wing guys now? It used to be that you had the Democrats. This is during the Bush years, 2000, 2008. During those years, the Democrats didn't want to go to war, and Bush and the neocons were awful, awful people. Those neocon Republicans, they're the radical far right. And the radical far right became the radical far left. All the war hawks and war chickens and I don't even know what to fucking call them anymore. All they want is war and destruction and death. The cult of death seems to be the Democrats, the Rhino Republicans. So I'm trying to follow you on this one. Who are the far right or the radical Republicans that would burn the country down? You're allowed to come on if you'd like, if you want, and shoot your opinion at me. I would like to look at this and talk about it. It's a good one.
Well, the radical right is still out there. I mean, you've got fringe groups of it right now, and the rest are just kind of lying low in wait, and they will emerge once things start swinging back to the right. You know, I mean, what was that group that wanted to separate out west there? God, I'm blanking on it.
The segregation group?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I put you on the spot.
I can't remember.
Well,
you also have like all the radical conservative religious groups and all of that stuff. And, right now they're being shouted down, but if things starts getting more favorable to that side, they'll reemerge again too. I mean, like the skinheads and stuff like that, they just merged into a different form.
Okay. Well, the Patriot Front, they've decided to go away now.
Yep.
The same day that Christopher Wray says he's going away, all of a sudden the people that we said they certainly look and smell and act like federal agents, with their face masks and their fake Nazis. That's interesting.
They're not federal agents. I mean, I think that they've received cover from federal agencies, but I don't believe that the guys are actual feds that are in those groups.
What about the group of guys that there were 12 gang members, and 10 of them were FBI agents, 2 weren't, and they were going to do that kidnapping of Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a
federal
different
agents to try and talk 2 guys into committing a crime, and they made it look like
that's a different story.
Those are the feds. That's what they do. That's pretty chicken shit.
Yeah.
They create nonsense.
I have no doubt that there may be some involvement there. But I mean, if you go and look at all the arrest records and stuff, and Corsair gave me the receipts for that. There were some of those guys that got arrested and their identities were revealed. It just wasn't splashed out because that wasn't the popular thing to do by all the Prepper Network guys,
Yeah. We just had it released that 26 of the people in the crowd on January 6th, at least 26 were federal agents or federal employees. That is, that they were hired by to act as agents provocateur. That's
Yes,
what
I
they
did
do.
see that. I did see that story.
They wanted to radicalize and or at least make it appear that they're radicalized, the right wingers. So I see that as a big key to understanding how this radical right thing goes. Christopher Wray was using the FBI to infiltrate churches, Catholic churches, and they're once again the FBI. I mean, the FBI has got their fucking hands dirty as hell, man.
Yeah, well, they get guys to turn on each other, and say, "Hey, if you snitch and give me a bigger fish," and then that's how it perpetuates. It's not that these guys are actual feds, but they are some type of asset there, that's being used by the feds.
Yeah, the whole thing stinks to high heaven, and
Yes, it
yeah, I
does.
know the radical rights out there. There are right wing, radical, white supremacist, Aryan, neo Nazi types, and the Klan. The Klan was always a left wing or Democrat organization, And what's the other one we have out there? The radical right church groups. Now they can be a little bit crazy too.
Yeah, and I saw an interesting article today talking about how these non-denominational super churches are exploding all over the place. So that's another thing that I have very high suspicions of, and I'm sure that there's a reason for that. I didn't have time to get into the article very deeply at lunchtime, but that's an interesting phenomenon too.
Yeah, the church groups. The extreme right churches, extreme left wing churches now. The pro LGB churches, the pro Jim Jones juice type churches. They drank the Kool-Aid, a different sort of Kool-Aid. The entire churchy thing is rather scary. If we went back and swung back to a massive Victorian prudery era, that would be awful or equally awful. But
And those groups are out there now. The group I was referring to before, I just pulled my notes up on this. There was a group called the Christian Identity Church, which were a bunch of former skinheads turned into white supremacist groups that toned it down a little bit, changed their appearance. They weren't shaving their heads and tattooing swastikas all over themselves. And that was spawned, I believe, off of the American Redoubt movement. That's what I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Up in Washington and Oregon up there. There's the American Redoubt. They wanted to separate and have their own white country or area or whatever. So, I mean, those groups are out there. They just change the camouflage, They just change their camouflage.
Those types of groups won't control Washington, D.C.
Well, who would have ever thought that a bunch of Middle Easterners that were not born in the United States had so much influence in Washington, D.C.?
Who are we talking about?
Ilhan Omar and the Squad. I mean, think about it. It's all it takes is a few big mouths to get a following and to have some significant influence. So, I mean, I would never say never that those groups would never get control in Washington, D.C. They may not take total control, but they could get enough power to have a significant influence.
I'm going to agree with you 100% there, and I'll even give you some better examples than the Jihad Squad. Now on mainstream media, in Congress itself, these anti-white blacks can stand up and spew anti-white hatred, anti-white culture hatred, anti-American hatred, literally from the pulpits of power and the high places that media was supposed to observe and report on. They use them instead as platforms of hatred against white. It's like, where did they get that sort of just anonymity? Like they can walk between the pages of the rules and just break all the rules and be completely I don't want to use the word delusional, but they can pick
They
on
were-
people, right?
they
You're
were
not allowed to
praised.
discriminate, yet they discriminate 100%. Where did they get that power?
Well, they were praised for doing it by the media and
Mhm.
the other people in control. And I believe, Mark Dice started that term anti-whiteism.
Yeah.
But now you're starting to get people who are suing these big corporations for being passed over because of their DEI practices, and they're winning lawsuits and they're winning big settlements.
And
So,
they
I
should
mean,
be. It's discrimination. It's wrong.
non-discrimination laws should mean against anybody.
That's correct.
You can't not discriminate against blacks by discriminating against whites. I mean, that's just
Oh yeah, it's
ridiculous.
incredible.
Yeah.
And then rainbows and flagettes and drag queens all over the White House, and transgenderism becoming a national issue. So I see
You'd
your
think-
point, and it's well taken. That these
Yeah, I
radical
mean,
right wingers.
You'd think that 25% of the country was a bunch of trannies, by the way it's portrayed and represented in that administration.
I'll take your point even further. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism, the anti-Israel, anti-Jew crap that's going around. Who'd ever thought that the schools, right, would be so anti-Jew? But don't you dare say anything against the gays or the blacks or the Palestinians. But we can say whatever we want against whites or Jews. And now, and the Jewish crowd I know is split. There's conservative Jews and liberal Jews, but they're targeting all the Jews. And you would never think that that would have been permissible, yet here we are. So yes, we could end up swinging the other way, and all of a sudden we got swastikas on flags being paraded down Pennsylvania fucking Avenue. It's possible. Man, it seems so unlikely. But the last 4 years,
John, if I would have told you things were the way they are today 10 years ago when we started this stuff, you would have told me I was crazy.
I'd be like, dude, just lose my phone number.
Yeah, and then the other funny thing too is that you got all these radical groups with the Jewish thing. They're all doing all their anti-Semitic stuff at the colleges and stuff. But God forbid, don't you Jewish donors stop giving to our college?
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So 4 years ago, I would have never thought this. It's to me, it's more evidence that shit has just hit the fan. It's crazy. Crazy. Who would ever thought that they'd bring all this porn into schools and then tell kids it's great? Who would have ever thought that mutilating children's genitals was the thing to do? It's vogue to have a trans kid. So parents are pushing their kids into transgenderism so they can be the cool parents.
Yep.
These fucking Gen X or that's my generation. Gen fucking millennials, Gen Z.
They should call it trans.
Some of them are our age. I know that.
They should call it Transhausen syndrome.
Instead of Munchausen.
Yeah.
Instead of Munchausen. Anyways, in any event, man, it is crazy. I don't want to see it swing back towards some other radical. This to me is the radicalism I like. The Constitution.
Yeah.
Our history. If you want to be a radical, cool dude, our history is full of incredible radicalism that benefits everyone. Freedom, liberty.
Yep.
Prosperity, property ownership, that's radical. But cutting your own dick off and then making everyone else, drink tea made from it, that's just some sick shit.
Yeah.
There's no place for that. Anyways, I appreciate you.
We got a bunch of other questions we got to get to, and we're going to get off of this topic a little bit onto something interesting.
Yeah, let's roll. Let's do the next thing. Pow. Thank you, man. That was fun. Robin G says it's getting crazier. I just read that tens of thousands of Australians now identify as witches, and globally, we're in the midst of a bona fide witchcraft boom. I thought you said we were getting away from religion. We just jumped right into it with brooms and pointy fucking hats. I watched a video of a witch standing in front of a landslide trying to stop it with her magical powers, and she got wiped off the fucking road by a huge landslide and just buried under a mountain of rubble. That's interesting. Tens of thousands of Australians, huh? The Wiccan thing, out of control. And Robin G says, joking aside, watch out for the craze. Witchcraft, among other stranger things, almost always increases during moments of social upheaval. Lots of messed up people coming out among us. The 60s and 70s, Robin, were really big for these cult-like groups. Patty Hearst was kidnapped by one radical terrorist group. The Weather Underground in Chicago, the leaders of who got, Barack Obama into power, right? They never went to prison. That's just incredible. And then you've got the Charlie Manson crowd, that little cult. A lot of the hippie cults, the Rainbow Family, and then you got the Jim Jones group. Then of course, we got close to the turn of the century, and we got Heaven's Gate and other cults pop up. You are absolutely right. Moments of social upheaval, crazed political stuff. We get the people start looking for their savior, their salvation, the thing that'll protect them and lead them. What do we say here? Think for yourself, get prepared with those items that will help you understand the neighborhood you live in and the 10-mile radius around you, because those are the people that'll threaten you the most. I don't tell you, okay, everybody, I bought 500 acres in Tennessee. Let's go live there together, and I'll be your leader and make sure, I'm not doing that. But that's what's happening. So the Wiccan thing, well, now all of a sudden it's going to explode. Kind of like a cold, I guess. It starts with a little, I don't feel so good. And you get a little sniffle. Next thing you know, you're blowing snot everywhere, right? And you're infecting everyone. Heidi checks in. Uh-oh. She said, most witches I have known were only interested in huge vegetables and healthy children. A little wacky, but okay. Well, I don't know. Were those actually witches, or were they just herbalists? And I believe, if I understand correctly, the witch phenom, women who were intelligent, self-sufficient healers, they've always been attacked. The church, medieval church, or even Renaissance church, did not want anyone else healing others. So yeah, anyone who was good with herbs, herbal medicine, natural remedies. This is before the pharmaceuticals, of course. They were considered witches because they were helping people with health, right? They had their herb gardens and vegetable gardens. They did really well, and can't have that, right? And witches eat children, by the way, and actually they still do. The church didn't like that. And then what happened? Oh, the doctors came along. The doctors are their own cult. Hell, they want to be worshipped as fucking gods. You're not allowed to question them. You're not allowed to question the church. You're not allowed to question the government. You're not allowed to question doctors. You're not allowed to question pharmaceutical companies. You're not allowed to question any of these scientists. Oh, the high priests of knowledge, scientists. Yeah, they don't like people who like natural things because they can't make money on it. There's no power, there's no control, there's no wealth for them. Hell, they even want to take control of marijuana and control that. They can't stop it, so they want to control it. I mean, you want to talk about cult of death? Go to your hospital. As stated before, you are 6 times more likely to die from a doctor than you are from a gunshot wound. That is, until we have Mad Max on the streets, and then everybody's going to get their chance to die. Interesting topic, by the way, to show the similarities between cult-like behavior, destructive behavior, dangerous behavior, and essentially people who are power-thirsty, power-hungry, power-mad. And once they get a large group, a cult following, it starts to take on a dangerous life of its own. Whether we're talking about the white supremacy / skinhead movement, or witches, or the gay movement, the LGBTQIA, minor attracted pedophiles, those people, now they're trying to split up and divorce each other. Oh, no, man, I'm just a bisexual. I don't believe in all that weird stuff. Oh, okay. I'm not buying it. Not buying it because everyone wanted to jump on the bandwagon and be cool. It's cool to be a witch. It's cool to be trans. It's cool to be this. Get the fuck out of here. Lots of followers, people. right? I want you to follow our thinking here, which is think for yourself, but don't be a follower to be a sheep. I want independent thinkers, free thinkers, to be in this world. I don't think anyone should follow the teachings of others that only seem to serve the others. It's just not good. It doesn't seem to be good. Think for yourselves, folks. Come up with your own conclusions. Look around at what's going on. How many of these dangerous cults have we seen? Churches are great until they get all kinds of power, and then they do what? Inquisition, right? They're going to burn holes in the bottom of your feet with hot irons, or make you, put bags of coal on top of your feet and then light them on fire. They'll tie you to a stake and burn you alive until you confess. It's just absolutely fucking awful what people are willing to do to other people once they get power. You think for a second? I mean, if I had any amount of money, the first thing I'm going to do is get away from people. Fuck, not go to the populated cities like DC and try and control everyone. But I guess some of us just want to be alone. Okay, man, where are we going next, man? Is Mikey G says, are those drones our new Iron Dome? Maybe. I don't know, because I haven't seen them, Mikey. I've seen pictures. I've seen videos. I've seen supposed pictures and supposed videos. I've seen military stuff, civilian stuff, airline stuff, security cameras. What I know is the government isn't being honest. Right? There's reports that, it's actually aliens. Then we hear reports that, there's a naval vessel offshore a couple hundred miles, and they're releasing these drones. How can the drones go as far as they do and stay in the air as long as they have? How do they operate so well? How do they become invisible? How do they do what they do? Right? There's a lot of question marks. Iron Dome. The Iron Dome. Let's delve into that very quickly. Iron Dome is the name of the air defense system that the Israelis have to knock down missiles that are being fired from Hezbollah or Hamas or Iran or some terrorist group. That's the idea behind the Iron Dome, is shooting a missile with a missile. If they tried giving New Jersey and other areas Iron Domes, that you can't stop these hypersonic weapons that Russia has. And guess what? China has some as well. Very scary business. I do not like it, folks. Not in the least. I don't like it. I don't savor it. I don't think it's fucking cute. And I just pray that cooler heads prevail. All of a sudden, have you noticed that North Korea is quiet? Where's Rocket Man? So Diving Frog says, I figured that if those drones were invaders or UAPs and they were real, we would have seen missiles being shot through the air. That tells me it's Uncle Sam behind it all. Yeah, the U.S. government seems to be complicit. The Pentagon, they're not worried about it. Oh, you're not worried about it? A couple of people have taken their drones and they fly them up and over the fence into places like Area 51. And the drone gets shot down and people get arrested. A Chinese fella out at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, he flew his little drone up and over Vandenberg and was trying to take surveillance pictures. They arrested his ass. So yeah, if they're not allowed, they're not ours, then they would be shot down. People would be arrested. But there's so many of them, and they're large vehicles, and they seem to have a self-defense system built within them. I don't know what the fuck's going on, folks. I don't trust our government. That is for sure. Orlando says, John, all this talk with the drones, I hear they're from IR. I think it's a crock of shit. They're ours. I hear they're from Iran or China or Russia, right? They're just scaring the people. There's much more behind it than they're willing to tell us. They're like, well, we're trying to detect missiles. We're using the drones to surveil. I don't know what it's about, but they're scaring people. Could this be Project Bluebeam? Could this be the government trying to create a situation that only they can save us from? But they're the ones that started it. Don't know. We don't have enough information. Thank you, man. I just don't know. We're going to find out. Best thing you can do, though, is be prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. But understand, folks, it is not a safe world. The best thing you can be is prepared by having all those items and then watching what's going on so you're not lied to, so you don't fall for it, so you don't land yourself in a little mini cult. The pro-alien or the anti-alien cult, right? They're wanting to divide and conquer, right? The witches, the Satanists, the pedophiles and groomers, right? The P. Diddy's and the Hillary Clintons and the Democrats and the Warhawk rhinos. There's just so many groups. It would be nice if we were all just American, but it ain't that kind of a movie, is it? Folks, chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas.